And is that part of the plan?
Well, Jason's not here, but Ivan, do you want to field that?
No.
He's always here.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Yep.
What was your favorite moment during filming the first movie? For all of them, I guess.
Oh,
For all of you. Well, I had an apartment above Columbus Circle or on like the 60th floor. And the night we walked Mr. Stay Puft down Broadway, I was up there watching the extras respond to Ivan's direction. And it was as if Godzilla. And the way they were reacting, they did a beautiful job of reacting and fleeing down through Columbus Circle. Real people, real extras, real police cars, real stunt players, and got to watch that from a bird's eye view. And when I saw that, I said, "Yeah, $1 million make believe for sure." Where are your favorite?
I don't know. There was so many. Just shooting in New York, shooting on the street, seeing how the fans sort of came out and just reacted. Yeah, it was great. I probably working with Danny in that car scene. We're talking about that. We were all working with you at the time. So driving the car across the crosstown traffic, and the car kind of broke down. But it was magic. It was a lot of. It's hard to pick up.
And stealing shots all over Manhattan, stealing shots in the car and on Broadway and Fifth Avenue. Yes, Maddie.
What was the hardest scene to shoot while filming movies?
Hardest thing to shoot. The stuff on stage, Ivan, like the temple, the wind effects, the lights, and that was kind of grueling.
It was really the first time I was doing visual effects. And we built the set. The production designer was John DePere Sr. He was about 85 or 86 when we did the film. He's one of the most brilliant production designers in the history of Hollywood. He was nominated at least 18 times for Academy Awards. And he created this remarkable set. He's the one who really thought of the doors and that remarkable rooftop that's on that building, and helped sort of us figure out how the hell we were going to do whatever it was that we had in our script. And you're talking about what my favorite scene was. That was the hardest, doing everything on the roof. My favorite was on my way to work one day, because I was in a hotel just across the park. And I remember the doorman coming up to me and saying, "You shooting in that building on Central Park West?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, there was this terrible earthquake there. The ground had come up because the crew had built this thing, and everybody thought it was real, that there was some kind of opening in the ground that screwed up the car." And I said, "Oh, it's good, okay."
Willie, what was your favorite scene?
Well, real quick, just two things, kind of mirroring what Dan was saying. When on Central Park West, for those 3 nights when they were shooting, I think that some of the biggest stuff. This was all pre-CGI. All of those lights, everything was so beautiful. It was so extraordinarily, almost cataclysmically beautiful. It was one of the most moving things that I've ever seen, and I've never had an emotion quite like that watching anything I've been in or watching a production go. It was truly remarkable. And what Ivan was saying about the design, the art in Ghostbusters it's incomparable. It's just gorgeous, and just to see that was amazing. The other thing was the mayor's office scene for me, with Bill and David Margulies, who was terrific, and that that was really kind of fun magic time. That's it. Pretty good.
My question is for Rod. I understand that you, from the commentaries and things, that they really dropped that shaving cream on you. How did that feel?
It felt like shaving cream. It felt like shaving cream.
Heavy load of shaving cream?
Well, no,
Warm,
I
cold?
think they put somebody. I said, I got a little worried because they said, well, we're going to drop the shaving cream, and I asked how much did it weigh, and they said 150 pounds, and I said, oh, okay. But like 100, I remember in Earth Science, 150 pounds of feathers and 150 pounds of lead was still 150 pounds. So I got a little worried, and so they went, oh, Jesus, what do I do with this guy? So they put some pork, a guy in there, I don't know who did it, second evening or something, and they let it go, and it kind of knocked him flat. So they put a little less for me ultimately.
Walter Peck was right again.
Close shave. Here's a question. I know in the courtroom scene in the second movie, Bill talked about putting on the proton packs. Were those things really that heavy in both movies and the slime blowers? Because I know you guys wore the slime blowers. Were they really all that heavy?
The packs that everybody have manufactured and you're all wearing today, they're about the weight of what we were wearing. They were heavy. They were 150 pounds. They were heavy metal. There were some rubber ones that Billy preferred to use. I always put the pack on. I didn't use the rubber one because I don't trust myself as an actor to show that weight. I could have faked it and put a rubber one on and pretended it was 150 pounds. No method I'm going to put that thing on. And it's going to be the real pack. But no, they were really, really heavy. But Billy did use the rubber one.
Gentlemen, I just want you guys to know the strength of your movie. I was 8 when it came out. I had a tremendous fear of death, like beyond uncontrollable. When this movie came out, it gave me all the courage to, face my fears, and I still use that on my little ones in my family, and it works. So I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you very much. And that's why I enjoyed the girls' film, because it also gave those little girls a chance to fight their demons, So thank you guys.
I love that Ghostbusters.
That part of the story on the idea of laughing in the face of death?
Yeah.
Let's take another couple questions here. You got the mic?
How about a Ghostbuster here?
Hey, so what's so fascinating about the movie, and this is for the director and the writers, is that you managed to start it so grounded with just a couple of guys, 3 guys that got fired from their jobs trying to start business. By the end of the movie, you've got a giant marshmallow man walking down the street. Could you just talk about the process of getting us there? And we were all there for the ride. We went there and we loved it. So just talk about the process of developing that.
Well, I think Harold, I think he was suggested that we set it in the universe. I think it was you and Harold really that I thought that's where we should start.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to pitch this story in a real way, and bring all the brilliance of Danny's imagination into a kind of a realistic setting. I always thought it would be much more powerful in a contemporary New York that we understand. So a large terror dog in an apartment, a condominium, or an apartment in New York is much more interesting than seeing it run around in some fantasy-scape where everything is sort of made up. And that was really the heart of it. My greatest fear was the Marshmallow Man. The Marshmallow Man was in Danny's original treatment, and
But not at the end. It was kind of at the halfway. Yeah.
as one of many, many extraordinary creatures. But even in that script with so many other things, it stuck out as a kind of a really wonderful but kind of goofy idea. And it was the thing that I was the most worried about. I thought, we get away with everything. I'm not sure if we're going to get away with the Marshmallow Man. And Sheldon Kahn, who's here somewhere, I think, who edited this movie and edited brilliantly, managed to put the movie, we shot from around middle of September until the middle of January of 1984, and February the 17th, I think, we had a screening on the Burbank lot of the movie, his very first cut, and it had those very few special effects, but fortunately we were doing much of what we did live. So, you know, in Dana's apartment, the eggs are really cooking for real. And but when the guys were shooting their proton packs, of course, we were going, things were coming out of it, but nothing was coming out of it. We had one shot with the Marshmallow Man. It was the very first close-up of the rubber head way back in the distance in Soho somewhere, walking against the skyline of Manhattan. And watching the movie is playing extraordinarily well. It was probably played as well that very first screening as I had ever seen it. And I kept going, oh God, please, I hope this Marshmallow Man thing is going to work. And I knew I had that one shot to sort of help explain it. And as soon as that head bobbed around in that wonderful way that it does, the laughs, the screaming, and I said, oh my God, we're to get to the end, all right.
Well, that brings
He was a sailor. When I said the Viking, I said, you know, I want a benign, benevolent brand symbol like the Michelin Tire Man or the Pillsbury Doughboy or the Angelus Marshmallow Man. In Canada, we had Angelus marshmallows, and he was a top with a little star. And the Viking said, okay, and then he mails me the initial renderings, and I opened it up, and he's made the guy a sailor like that. I doubled over, I couldn't believe it. I laughed for 10 minutes. This is going to be so good. And in the movie, of course, Bill improvises, and he's a sailor. You know, he improvises the line. We're going to get him today. Yeah. Mr. Stay Puft, we love him. Some people skin here today.
I think that brings us to the end.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.